Good evening. Good evening. Welcome. My name is Kwabena. I want to share with you today how to handle disappointment. How to handle disappointment. As humans as we are, when we set goals for ourselves, when something is important to us, when we have aspirations, when we have dreams, we so believe that those dreams should come true. We so believe that we should be the ones to enjoy, the realization of the dream. But if you live on this earth, there will come a time that you will have some kind of disappointment. Some people that you believe in, some people that you trusted, some people that you depended on would let you down. If you're childish, if you're naive, you will not factor disappointment in your goals because you think that everything will be perfect and you think that the people that you could depend on will be there for you. Not necessarily so. And when even people disappoint you, it's not because they were wicked, it's not because they were bad people necessarily. It's just because that is life. And in this life, people fight for their interest. And the things that people call disappointment and how heavy it gets to them or it gets to us is because of how much confidence we had in the results that we are expecting, or how much of trust that we had in the people that we think disappointed us. But when you set goals, when you set any agenda, when you want to build anything, when you want to become anything, you may not want to add disappointment as part of the strategy. But maybe you should add that. If you're just starting something, if you're just doing anything, maybe for say business, if you just started building a business, if you just became an entrepreneur, you will not be the one to add disappointment as part of your strategy, as part of the dream, as part of the goals. But you will need them, whether you pray for them or you don't pray for them, whether you look for them or you didn't look for them, they will come. And so you should at least strategize. If the first one beat you, if the first disappointment beat you, if the first friend that you so much trusted disappointed you, if the man who gave you every word disappointed you, you so much believed that it will work and it didn't work, if that family member disappointed you, at least you may have had a fair share of disappointment if you are not a child. So be ready for them. They are part of the goals. They are part of achieving any goal. So it's not demonic, it's not satanic, it's just part of the things that we have to deal with as humans living on this earth. Why? Because the people, usually disappointments come from people, because people control almost everything in this life. So disappointments come from people, and if they come from people, sometimes you may have some bit of bitterness. You may get offended because somebody who gave you his word or her word failed you. But you should not get offended at anybody who disappoints you. Not at all. If you so much some people can be hurt for years because somebody else disappointed them, somebody else failed them, somebody else did not come through for them. The more pain you are, the more hurt you are. They just go to show the more maybe emotionally weak you are, the more naive or the more egoistic you are, because you think that you cannot be hurt, you cannot be disappointed. How can you be, how can somebody do that to you? You are actually trying to become a god because you think that that thing should not happen. It's not necessarily so. Anybody that you have seen succeed at anything had tons of disappointment. The only reason that they did not give up is because they saw their humanity in it. They saw how much they have also disappointed people and how much they have also even disappointed themselves. So if you call something disappointment, which a lot of us could relate to, they are not really disappointment. They are purging process. They are things that you had to hit, you had to meet for you to become a bit wiser, a bit clearer, a bit more ambitious, a bit more tougher to go for the goals. And so if there is anything that you should not surprise you in this life, it should be the fact that if you set goals, if you want to become anything in this life, you would experience some kind of disappointment. And the most hurtful ones will come from people that you so much believe in, so much trusted, so much dependent on. Am I saying don't depend on people? I will never say that. I will say that in this life, there will come a time that you would have to trust somebody. You would have to depend on somebody. You would have to just get open to somebody. And so I am not of that opinion that don't trust people, don't believe in people. I don't believe in that. I believe in you would have to trust somebody. You would have to believe in somebody. You would have to let somebody handle something. Now, the question is, at what stage do we have to do that? That is what beats a lot of us. Because trust should be earned. Trust should be, you cannot open everything to somebody that you just met today. So sometimes the people who disappointed you may have been people that you did not just open up the first time or the third time or the fourth time. They may have been with you for years, and then the time came that you so much needed them to come through for something, and they were not there. It's a fact of life that people will disappoint. So just embrace that. If you want to achieve anything, it's a fact of life that you experience a lot of disappointment. Whether it's family, some people experience disappointment in their relationships. The guy promised you, and when it got to the point that he had to marry you, he said that, I'm sorry. You trusted your friend with another friend, girlfriend with another friend, and they took the girl. Those are the basic ones that people can relate to. Or it became a business. You are doing business with this guy, and then he screwed you. You trusted him so much with some kind of deals, with some kind of money, and he ran away with it. Or he tricked you. When the payment came, he took everything. Those are part of life. You see, they cheated you, and you got hurt because you thought you were wise. All of us think that we are very wise. And so the people who think that they're very wise are the most hurt, because they don't think that somebody should cheat them. Somebody should take them for granted. Relax, people will take you for granted after all. People will cheat you. If you say that nobody has cheated you, you're just not aware. They've been cheating you, they've been lying to you, they've been disappointing you. You are just not paying attention. And so it's part of life. And you yourself, you have been doing that. Myself, I've been disappointing people. So it's part of life. Now the problem is how we define disappointment, how we handle them when they happen, and how we don't let them hinder us from getting to the goals is what I'm talking about. You cannot prevent them. You may be able to reduce them at a point, but they will continue to happen until you are out of this earth. So disappointment and how you handle them. You don't want to be disappointed. We all don't want to be disappointed as humans. We don't want to be disappointed in our businesses, but they will happen every now and then. And the emotionally weak ones, they they make drastic, quick decisions when they are hurt, when they are disappointed. When that manager ran away with the business, when that manager ran away with the money, if you are not skilled, if you are not exposed, if you are not thoughtful, at that point you make some critical decisions just to wipe everything off. Why? Because you are making the decision out of the hurtfulness, because you trusted that person. After a while, when people run away with some things, you will not take quick decisions at that moment. You will just sit back and look at issues. And so how drastic you make decisions when there's a disappointment, that shows how much of the inexperience you have in terms of the situation at hand. And so disappointment, they will come. People will disappoint you. Business people are full of them. Anybody who achieves any goal is full of them. You are not going to get used to them, but at a point you become tougher. You started a business, you partnered with this guy, you trusted him so much. He was your friend, he was your family, he was your brother, he was a cousin, he was somebody who was so much dear to you. And then the business started to grow, and the next minute you see that this man has changed, and he's the one rather attacking you, becoming an enemy, disagreeing with you, lying, about you. You hear things that they say that you say, oh wow, how could you? They are only new to you, but they've been part of human life ever since human beings were created. And so when they happen like that, you will think that, how could you do that to me? I trusted you. Yes, you trusted them, and you still have to trust human beings, but the disappointment will come. Why? Because there were things that you did not see. They were clear. They were there. Everybody around you saw it. You did not see it because you had some trust for that individual, for that person, for those people. So people could just see that this guy has some kind of, but you could not see because, it's part of life, because you are inexperienced. And so how much the disappointment gets to you is just how much inexperienced you are in terms of how people, you are not able to detect the character of people. So they did something, another person who was more experienced could just easily see it, but you could not see it because you were naive. And so that naivety would have to get off the way so that you could get to your goals, so that you could achieve your goals, so that you could become a better person. So the disappointments and how many times you experience them and how much hurtful you become is because you're still developing your ability to identify things that don't work and things that work. Your ability to see somebody who is honest to work with, and your ability not to see somebody who is not honest to work with. And so disappointment are part of your goals. They should not stop you. If they stop you, you are naive. Nobody should disappoint you and you get so much that you give up on yourself. Nobody. Because they are part of human life. People have the power to say that I will not go with you again. They have the power to say that, yes, I became a partner in this business and I'm not going to do it again. Even though you needed them for the business to work. You have pumped maybe 5 years in the business, and the person jumps up tomorrow to say that, listen, I'm not going to do this again. I'm going back to school. I'm going to America. And you feel like, my God, so what am I going to do? Or you trusted this employee so much, you gave so much information to them, and tomorrow you get a text to say that, listen, I'm not working with you again. I've started my own business. And they go around picking the same customers that you introduced them to. They started the same business that you're doing. The same thing. The boy who came crying that he needed help, and you gave him that help. 2 years, this same boy turns around to say that, listen, this business, now I know the client, this is life. I want to take I've started a business. And you call them, they will not even pick. And they will sometimes they will even syndicate, try to destroy the very thing that helped them. This is part of life. You should not be hurt so much because things happen like that. And that's what I've seen about business people who are green, who are naive. The fact that people will disappoint you should not mean that you should not open up to people. Because then you will never become great. You will never become big, because the greatness is a network of people. And so that young man disappointed you. You shared so much with them and they ran away. That young woman, you shared everything. They were handling your accounts. But by the time you got to know it, they had taken thousands of Ghana cedis from their account. Should that mean that you should not trust people again? No. It only means that you trusted the wrong person. But there's always somebody that you can trust. And there were indications. People don't just disappoint. There is always a trend. There's always a trend. There are always indications. Nobody just, it could be your father, it could be your mother, it could be your brother, it could be your sister, it could be your friend, it could be anybody. When they disappoint you, at the point that you feel like you've been disappointed, you've been lied to, you've been duped, there are a lot of things that you can trace that can talk to you that this man was like that. The only thing is that you did not see. Why you did not see? Because you were clad. You were naive. You didn't have the tools. You didn't have the skill. You didn't have the know-how to identify that. Or even if you knew it and you saw the trace, you did not have the confidence, the courage to make the decision and to correct issues. And so whenever anything happens, don't separate yourself from the situation as if you were an angel. You are not an angel. The disappointment is as a result of you not knowing, not being skilled. You just didn't pay attention. That's what you think. So you have an exaggerated opinion of yourself. You thought that you were that wise. And that's why the disappointment should not be so much hurt you. They should not so much hurt you because you're just part of the same loop. You were just as naive, and you were just sorry. I'm sorry to say that you were just as stupid as the other person was. So don't separate yourself from the disappointment. Don't think that you are so much wise. Don't think that you are so much skilled. You are an expert. You are not an expert. You were disappointed because you could not trace. You could not find the trace. And so just accept that it's part of human. Human beings will disappoint you. Meet any person who has ever succeeded in anything. You can count as many as, whatever, people that they have disappointed. And sometimes they have also disappointed a lot of people. It's part of life. It's part of life. You should only make it your point not to be the one disappointing people deliberately. Sometimes you would have to disappoint people because it was beyond you, not because you're a bad person. But so long as it's in your reach, don't be the one calculating to disappoint people, because they will come back to you. So nobody expects to lose anything. You don't expect to later find out that your project manager was the one. Whenever you sent the cement, the 1,000 bags of cement for the project, he was the one selling 200 of them every time. And this is a guy who was always reading the Bible. He opened the Bible. He was religious. He was always mentioning the name of Jesus. You believe in him so much. And then you find out that he disappointed you. Never link character on this earth, people being honest with you, with religiosity. Never. It doesn't matter what name they call themselves. Let people prove themselves to you. They could be Muslims. Some people are trustworthy and they don't call the name of God. And so if you want to prevent or reduce the disappointment going forward, study people. Study yourself. What is it that is your weakness? If you're like me, you believe in people so much. You trust people. You want the best for people. You give people the second chance. You don't give up on people so much. And when a lot of people take those things as weakness. When you trust people, when you're kind, when you're friendly, when you're respectful, when you're truthful, a lot of people in this life will take that you are stupid, you are weak, you are ignorant, you're naive. A lot of people. And these are the people that people easily disappoint. And so a lot of people have disappointed me. Why? Because I believe in people, I trust in people. Much of it was because maybe of my background, So I think that people deserve a second chance all the time. I think that people deserve the best. And so even if I don't have, I would want to go the extra mile to make sure that I give to people. Now, when somebody comes in to me and he doesn't have, I think that I go the extra mile to stretch myself to just give opportunities to people. Now, most people would only remember you, the goodness that you do, just at the point that you're doing it for them. Tomorrow, they don't remember you. If there is any disagreement, they will come at you like you're an enemy. And that's why people feel hurt. Because you think that in spite of all that you have done for somebody, they should remember. Never deceive yourself. If you do good for people, you're not doing good for that particular person. You're only doing good because of your principles of life. That you believe that people deserve the best. So you do it without tagging names to the good that you do for people. Because if you tag names to it and you look at the conditions that you had to help somebody in and you expected so much from that person, that's why you feel disappointed. Because you did the good because you thought that this man should be able to, be trusted, be depended upon when the time arises. No, it's a philosophy of life. You do good for people. It's a philosophy. You believe in people. It's a philosophy. Don't tag people to it. And don't even count the number of people that you do good for. They're not needed. You do good out of the heart that you have for mankind. And that's why sometimes when you also least expected somebody to do good to you, you didn't know them. Somebody from nowhere also showed up to do good for you. Because you don't do good for people because you expect them to do good for you. And if your expectation is on people, that's why you feel disappointed. So never expect people to pay you back. It doesn't worth it. It doesn't matter the situation that you met them. It doesn't matter the condition that you met them in. It doesn't count anything. You help people or you do something for people out of principles that you have for yourself. Never. Because when you so much need people, the people you help so much, if you're that kind of person and you look up to those people, they will be the people who will disappoint you so much. Because your understanding of disappointment is coming from the fact that you help that person, so they should be the people to help you. And that is a wrong understanding of life. That is a wrong understanding of life. So you take care of your child, thinking that child should grow to come and help you. And so when that child grew and that child did not help you, you feel hurt. That was a wrong understanding of helping people. You don't help people to expect them to help you back. No. You help people out of your principles of life. And that's why you can handle whatever somebody calls disappointment will not be disappointment to you. Why? Because your philosophy of life is that you help people based on your principles. And so when they turn out tomorrow to be the ones fighting you, some of the people that you even help will not just go away. They will be the enemy who is coming after you, as if you were a bad person to them. Do they mean anything? No, they don't mean anything. They don't mean anything. Don't sit back to calculate the good things that you have done for people and cry because they are the ones trying to do something bad for you. Because you'll be shocked. Their interpretation of the things that you call as you did good for them. Most people will not even call that as good. They will think that because people don't know the sacrifices that you had to make for you to help them at the point that they needed help. Most people think that you help them out of your abundance, out of a lot that you have. Because most people will never help you out of their penury. No. They help you out of their abundance. So they have 10 million, they give you 1 city. It doesn't mean anything to them. And if you're a good person, a principled person, a kind person, you would want to help people out of the little that you have. And because they are not helping you out of the little that they had, they will trivialize the help that you give them. You gave them. And they would even think that they deserve it. And so they trivialize the pain, the struggles, the sacrifices that you have to go through to help them. And that is life. That's why you think that you sacrifice so much for them, and they think that you just gave them the handout, you just gave them out of their abundance. So what is it? They even work to pay it back. So it's your definition of disappointment. That is what is the problem. It's your definition of what you call help for people. Help people because you're a good person. Help people because maybe God says that help people. Help people because you're just a philosophy that you have. It's just the principles of life. Don't help people thinking that they should be the ones to help you back. That's why you call it disappointment. I don't call it disappointment. I just see it as a duty that I have to do for somebody. If they pay me back, maybe good. If they don't, it's fair enough, it's good. It doesn't mean anything. Because there are many people who will come anyway. And sometimes the good of life, you least expect them from the people the people that you don't even know. They will be the ones who will pay you back. So it's only when you only feel disappointed when you expected the help from that person that you think you help. And they even don't think that you help them. Most people don't think that you help them. They just think that you just did something and you gain more. So you cannot be disappointed in this life. If that disappointment is a part of your dictionary, you have a wrong interpretation of what they call disappointment. Because disappointment is just part of the process of living on this earth and getting to your goals. Living on this earth and getting to your goals. So it doesn't matter. Anybody that you thought disappointed you was actually placed there to help you to become a wise person, become a wiser, or become wiser. Because you were dreaming. You were dreaming. You were living on the Cinderella kind of life. You were in hallucination. Because in the reality of life, people will always disappoint. Where you least expected them. Where you so much needed them to come true. But the good thing is that when they fail, when they disappoint you, that is the time that your revelation, your knowledge, your wisdom starts to increase. That's where you start to make decisions. That's why you make decisions to become better. That's why you make decisions to change the whole system. So every time that you started to look at issues differently, it's because there was a disappointment, because there was a failure somewhere, because there was some kind of things that hurt you. And so just accept that it's part of life, and they are going to happen all the time. So far as you are in this life, people will disappoint you. So people have the power to make their own decision. Is the best choice that people have. You cannot control people. People have the right to make the life decision that is for their own interests, and don't expect people to make decisions for your interests. No, very few people will make decisions for your interests. So there is always going to be something good in what you call disappointment. So look for them. Look for them. The moment that you were hurt, the moment that you thought you were disappointed, that was the moment that some idea came to you. That was the moment that you started to discover yourself. That was the moment that you decided to become a better person. And you start to see the good people in life at the point that the others disappointed you. So there are some people who are around you, they don't want the best for you, but they will never go. Then when things start to get worse or things start to get better, that's why you see their real character. And that's where you will feel like, this man, why? No. The only genuineness of people that you will see is their commitment to the things that benefit you. Any good person is not just saying it with your mouth. If something was so much dear to you, the sacrifices that they made for that thing to become better to you is the proof of their genuineness of heart to you. So it's not just the mouth. It's not the talk. It's the sacrifices that they make towards that which was important to you. And so don't just assume that somebody is so much dear to you. No, they don't mean anything to you until they start to make sacrifices towards things that make you better. Up until that, they are just anybody who could just disappoint you. And most people are just naive on that. So the man is always showing up just because of what they will get from you, just because of their self-interest. And most people around, a lot of people, they're just there for what will benefit them. When the critical moment comes for them to make any decision for you to get better, that's where you see their character. And I'm saying that it's part of life. So they should not shake you. They should not mean anything to you. They should not be what do you call disappointment? It's just life. People have the choice to make their decisions, and people are going to make decisions all the time, and they will not be the ones making decisions for your best interest. So it's just part of life, and it's just it's just the way life is. Life is like that. Your father could disappoint you, so to say. Your mother, your wife could disappoint you. And so build yourself. Never become bitter. Never become angry because people make decisions for their interests. Re-strategize. Look at life better from a different point of view, and just get back to work and rebuild your life from the point that you thought was a disappointment. And most often when you look back, you see that point was the point that you started to become wiser. So if you're weak as an individual, if you are so much hurt, if you're a kind person, if you are not the ones hurting people, you will not be so much comfortable with what you call disappointment. Now, some people are very some people have the tendency to be negative, and pessimistic. Those people don't open up to people. They don't open up to people. They just close. They come around you, but they have wiser eyes, So they don't get so much hurt frequently than the ones who are just good people, open-minded, open-hearted. They just take people from the face value. That is also naivety. That is also naivety. You cannot be naive by taking people of face value. If you're committing something to anybody, if you're going to go into business with anybody, if you're going to build anything with anybody, if you're going to marry anybody, if you're going to go into any critical situations of your life, let people prove themselves. At least you may have been cheated the first one. You may have been disappointed the first one, the second one, the third one. Going forward, let people prove themselves. Let people prove their character before you get into anything with them. In that way, you'll be able to reduce the number of disappointment that you're going to experience. You'll become better because people would have to prove their expertise, prove their substance to you. Don't just take people for face value as I used to. Just that the person came to cry, you just helped them and they were lying. Just that the person, I employ people out of sympathy. And even though we were not making money, I was still paying them. And that created a lot of problems for us. Why? Because I felt that you finished school, you didn't have anything, just come around. And they thought that they were even people who were sitting in the office doing nothing, rather turn around to say that you were not paying them. That is human being. So don't be that naive. You cannot continue to become successful if you continue to make set decisions. At a point, you would have to make clear decisions as to who should be trusted, who should be dependent upon, who can be given some kind of responsibility. People should prove themselves to you. You cannot just pick anybody and just start to give them all the information, most critical information you give them. No, let them qualify. Give them stages. At a point, you tell them this. At a point, you show the people's heart, because most people have not developed themselves to be dependable. Most people are just in this life only for themselves. Only for themselves. So when there is a critical moment that they have to make decisions for both of you, not even for you, for both of you, they will only opt for themselves. I remember I worked with somebody on a product for almost 2 years. Now we were getting some level of success. We got a credit line for it. We built some stuff out of it. And then we hit the wall because we needed some top up somewhere. And then he told us that we should see another person to see if they could help us. Now, could you believe that when we went there, the person decided to give that person the whole project that we had worked for and treated me as nothing? The project that I have financed. Was I disappointed? Big time. Was I angry? Yes. Was I hurt? Yes. For how long? Maybe 2 days. Why? Because there were traces. He had done it before. There were traces. He was not. He was erratic. But I just needed to learn something from him. But I at least expected that he could just jump at that point. There was a person that we did a project with. We pumped money in it. The payment came. The man vanished. He told us that, oh, we put 10,000 in it, so 10,000, this is your money. After 2 years that they paid the project. Now, these are the things that you will learn. You don't have to learn the way I learned it. But people will jump at the slightest seeing of money. Should you be disappointed? I don't think so. Would you be hurt? Maybe. But if you are better equipped now, you will know that human beings can do that. And there are traces of people who would not do that. And so you look for those traces. If somebody comes to say that let's form a partnership, don't just jump to form a partnership with somebody and just go and register a company. Let them prove themselves. Study them. Study them. Study them, their behavior towards money. Study their behavior. Are they somebody? If they come talking about people all the time, they are not dependable. If they are lazy, they are not dependable. There's something that they can do, but not partnership, not business partnership. You could do just a project with them and just share the money and let the person go, and you go your way. But if you want to register a business and grow with somebody, register a business together. It's not a joke. So you don't just start to just go and register a business with somebody because you met them yesterday. Let them prove themselves. See the way they behave with money. See the way they behave with people. See. Even if they disappoint you after 5 years, at least the 5 years is better. But not just because a lot of people have no substance. When there's pressure, they will leave you. When there's money, they will take it and run away. If they are the people talking about people all the time, they are not bringing new ideas. They are not reading. They are not building themselves. They're just into sports and entertainment kind of things. They are not dependable. So don't build business with such people. You can only build a project, something. You do a deal, it happens, and you take your money, he takes his money. Because you may be looking at something big, and they may just be looking for job money. And so when you go into partnership with such a person, and then you come out to say that, oh, after 2 years the person disappointed you. Didn't disappoint you. You didn't know what to look for. You did not know what to look for. Strength. Look for strength. Look for growth. Look for knowledge. Look for understanding. Look for stability in people. Look for trust. Look for strength of mind. Look for ethics. And let them prove them. Then you can depend on them. Most often they say that, oh, I was an accountant and he ran away with my money. How can you give your business money to somebody that you just employed? You just employed somebody and you gave the whole place to him without monitoring him. Most people, when you leave money to them, when most people see money, they have no morals. Forget about prayer. Forget about going to church. Forget about all the name of Jesus that they mention. Let them prove themselves. Because you cannot be honest until you have strong philosophy of life. So if they are shallow-minded, you can trust them. So build them a little. Maybe the condition will require that you don't have much leverage, but still, then you have to monitor them. You have to have stronger checkups so that you don't feel disappointed. Because when they run away with the money, it will be your debt. And your business will collapse or your project will not stand. So you are somewhere living outside the country, bringing money to your brother to build for you. Track it. Check it. Let somebody cross-check them. Check it. Don't leave it, and then after 10 years you can say, I was very disappointed. How could you be disappointed? You're naive. So don't be hurt. They are human beings. They will look for their interest. You know? So until you have built philosophy, character, until people have proven that, you cannot be shocked when they betray you. You cannot be shocked when they disappoint you. And you call those disappointment. I call those as part of life. They're just part of life. I may be paranoid, I may be negative, but those are facts of life. There could be some big man that you so much trusted, and you find out that they were lying to you. Yes, part of life. It's part of life. It's part of life. So I think that you can only depend on people when they have proven themselves, when they have done something continuously. Because there are few people, or there are people who are honest. There are people whose words mean a lot to them. There are people who are kind, trustworthy, truthful, forgiving, dependable. They are there, but they were not born with it. They developed that. So don't just let anybody come to you. And the man comes up. What were you looking for? You look at the way the guy had dressed, the way he was talking, and you believe him. And all of us do that, you know, because sometimes we just out of greed. We also out of greed, you know, greed makes people, selfishness makes people stupid. Because when they're pitching you, when they were talking to you, you could see that this guy does not look like what he says he is. But you believe them. Why? Because you thought you could get something out of that. And then they ran away with the money and you say that you were disappointed. No, when you first met them, you saw it. They look shady. They look some way to you. You saw it. But they were talking too much, and they you know, they got into your head. So you believe that this is one of the best projects that will make me rich. They studied you, so you could not be disappointed. Later, if another person shows up that way, you will be wiser. Why? Because you're not being confronted the same situation as before. Now you have met something before, so you become wiser. You became wiser because somebody else disappointed you. Somebody else you believe in. Somebody else you should not have trusted. You know, let you down. And that became a school for you. That became a lesson for you. That should not prevent you from going for, you know, from exploring or taking advantage of other situations. But those should guide you. So when somebody looks like that, so when somebody behaves like that, when somebody fidgets like that, they will, you know, they will send you. They will send you. They will send you signals. You look at it and say, no, this one does not look like it's genuine. And so let me probe further. Let me look at it. Let me look at the situation again. And so my name is Kwabena. I'm talking about how to handle disappointment. Disappointments are part of life. They take the foolishness out of us. You become better as you get disappointed, and business life is full of that. You know, so every human at a point will be disappointed by somebody. It could be your friend, it could be your husband, it could be your wife, it could be, you know, your brother, it could be your business partner, it could be anybody. Now, how deep that disappointment is to you is how much trust you had for that person or those people involved in what you call disappointment. And it's not so much disappointment because you thought that they should be people that you could depend on. I think it's just part of the living, because people are always fighting for their interests. So get that perspective, get that understanding that this is life. And at a point, some people will just, you know, go for their interests. Very few people will still be stuck with you. So that is life. But when you help people, don't tag them that because I've helped you, you should be the one to help me. Because I sacrificed so much for you, I would not expect you to do this kind of thing to me. No, don't be that kind of person. Never take the help that you give to people and expect them to pay you back in the same quantum. And that's why you felt hurt, because you thought that you sacrificed so much for that individual and that they let you down. No, that was a wrong understanding of what you call help. You help people out of your philosophy of life, out of the things that you get, it's part of you. You just help people. And so when you're helping them, you're not looking at tomorrow when that person does anything against you. It means that, look at this man, I help him from this level, and this is what he can do to pay me back. No. It means you had wrong understanding of what you call help. You help people out of your convictions, out of the value that you have for people. And so if that person turns out to do anything good for you, fantastic. If they don't, it doesn't mean anything. Why? Because the help that you're giving to people, they are just like a farmer sowing seeds. You sow the seed into the ground. You will reap. But you're not going to reap from that person. If it comes from that person, fine. But most likely, it will not come from those people. Because people you help usually don't know how much sacrifice that you had to go through to help them. Especially if they are not people who help people themselves. You know, ungrateful people are not people who help others. If you help somebody, if you're a kind person, when somebody helps you, you can easily understand it. Because your heart is like that. But when people who are not helping people, ungrateful people are people who never help anybody. They never sacrifice for anybody, so they don't understand what sacrifice means. So what should you expect them to relate to the sacrifices that you made? It doesn't happen like that. So help people, be open-minded, but never tag them to say that they should be the people who should not disappoint you. And that's why you call it disappointment. Never call anything disappointment. It's just part of you becoming better as a human. So help people as much as you can and never expect them to pay you back. If they pay you back, fine. One thing about life that I know is that good people, loving people, kind people are people who go forward, are people who are not easily destroyed. They are the people who are always getting new ideas. They are people who are getting helped everywhere. They are people who always become better. They are people who continue to become better all the time. Why? Because it's a principle of life. The more you help people, the more you become better. But never help people thinking that they will help you back. Don't expect that. Just help people. It's people you're helping, and people will help you back. It's a principle of life. You become only pain because you have shallow understanding of what you can help and what you call disappointment. So it was never disappointment. It was just part of you becoming wiser. And so when they gave up on you, when they went away, and you felt like you helped them so much, that was the point that you started to become better. That was the point that you started to change the system. Your manager stole money from you, and this was a manager that you trusted. When they stole that money, you look around and you look at your securities at the place. You say that, no, we have to do something better. And that was the point that you started to look at other systems. And out of that, you started to meet this person, you started to meet this person, and the next time you see another business is coming out of that stealing that manager stole. You know? So what you even call disappointment, they are just at the point where you started to see things differently. So don't believe in anything as disappointment. That boy left you and you became wiser. Now you're not a naive girl. Now when somebody is talking, you can look into the eyes and say, no, this guy is a lie. This guy is a liar. You know, it could be painful. Yes. It's only painful because you're naive. You're unskilled. If you start to understand life, you know that people can disappoint you. And weak people are the first ones to disappoint you. People you cannot count on. Ungrateful people. They are the ones who can easily disappoint you. So why should you be hurt? Great people are thankful. Great people, kind people, thoughtful people, wise people, people of knowledge, people of understanding are thoughtful. If they find out that they disappoint you, they will call you back. They will get back to you and come and correct it. They will tell you that I was naive. You did this for me. I should be the one to come and say thank you. And even if they don't gather the boldness to, they find a way of trying to get back to you. The weak ones, the sloppy ones, the generous, they will rather go ahead to even come to destroy you in spite of the help that you think you gave them. So the help is not to a specific person. Just help people. Give help to people. Everywhere that you are, that you can help anybody, help them. And never tag the help. To say that I'm helping you so that tomorrow you help me. You're naive. Never help people to say that tomorrow you help me. They don't have to help you. They don't have to, because they have the will to make decisions on their own. And so if there is anything that you should be not surprised with, it should be the fact that life, people can disappoint and people disappoint. And that should not be news to you. And it could be anybody. So far as they are called human beings. It could be family, they could be friends, they could be anybody, they could be partners, they could be anybody. They can disappoint. And they hurt you because you attach so much importance to it because you're naive. And it's part of life. It's part of life. So deal with what you call pain. Some people still carry 20 years of the help that they gave to somebody who never, you help your friend to do something and they never paid you back. It doesn't mean anything. Somebody has also done something good for you, which you didn't do anything for. So don't hold pain. Don't be offended. Don't be bitter because of what you call help that you gave to somebody who never helped you, or somebody you trusted who let you down. People will let people down. It's just, are you a child? You're just part of life. Just get used to it. And so when it happens, you just look at it and you look to the next person, and you still have hope in people. You still have to trust people. Don't become paranoid. Don't become bitter. Don't become disappointed. No. In people, no. There is always somebody who will help you somewhere. So be open-minded. Just that now you are better equipped. So when they are talking, and at what stage that you want to give which kind of person information. So people talk about what's this. Don't be just part of life. So don't be, people will disappoint you. So don't be, when people are talking about that, and I'm hurt, you're hurt for what? You're hurt. That hurt will kill you. Don't be easily hurt by the behavior and the actions of people. They were fighting for their interest. What do you think? People always fight for their interest. They will not fight for your interest. Very few people will fight for your interest. Just as you are fighting for your interest, people are fighting for their interest. People will disappoint you. Very few great people will fight for another person. So don't. Just build strong philosophies of life. That if you're going to achieve anything, you should be buoyant, you should be strong, you should be tough. Because you experience some of these things that you will call disappointment. I'll call them training tools. They take the foolishness out of your eye. Because you're foolish. For you to think that person who showed everything that was clear, you could depend on them when it came. For you to depend on them. Because there are a lot of things that they showed you. They were not fighting for you. They were not for your interest. They were not happy when you were going forward. They were not for you. So why are you sad that they disappointed you? That is the substance they have. People have substance. You can only depend on people who have quality substance. And they should prove that to you. So you don't want to be disappointed in business? Be ready for them. They will come. Your employees will disappoint you. Your friends will disappoint you. The project guy that promised you so much that he'll give you the project, the next time you see it, you say, I'm sorry, something changed and we can't give you the project. The bank people will screw you. Those are part of life. It's just part of the training. The thing is that don't give up. So you can experience 1,001 of them. Never give up. Keep going. Keep going. And never become bitter. Never become disappointed. Never. Have an open heart, clean heart. Love people. Love life. Enjoy your life. When you are hit, wait for one day. Tomorrow, get up again. And continue. It's part of life. You know, so they will happen every now and then. People will disappoint you if you call them disappointment. And when they happen, they only, somebody can be bitter for 2 years, 10 years. Why? No. Enjoy life. Look into the future. You are human, isn't it? You are only proud and arrogant because you thought you could not be deceived. If you're humble, you will know that you'll be deceived anyway. So people will disappoint you. It's part of life. It's part of business. You steal your money, they will lie to you. They can collapse the business. You depend on them so much. You travel for 2 days. They sold everything. They took the money. Just go and build a better system. And if they steal and you find out, fire them. Don't let them stay. Pick another person, train them. Because if they steal, they will continue to steal. Because people don't have philosophy. Of me, I don't want to steal your money. You are paying me. I want to be here to make sure that the business grows. I want to be ethical. I want to be honest with you. You have given me a place to work. People don't have that. You may have to put that in them. You may have to train them. You may have to encourage them. Because they're coming from a background where they just saw something, they had to take it. So they will disappoint you. Employees, they will disappoint you. You employ them, the next minute you hear them say something that will make you like, wow, how could you say that? You even came for the interview, you didn't qualify, but I was kind to give you position, and now you are saying that what? And those are the things that when you hear, you think like, wow. No, don't be disappointed. They are humans with the power to choose. Just as you have the power to fire them as well. So it's a fair game. Just as they have the power to leave you or to work with you, you also have the power to say that no, I'm not interested in this kind of personality. Go. So if you're going to get to your goals, you would have to develop some level of toughness, because that is the essence of disappointment. It will make you tough. So if you see anybody who has done business for 2 years, 3 years, now they are tough. Now they are able to read through the lines. Now they are wiser. Why do you think they are wiser? Where do you think the wisdom came from? They came from the very things that you call disappointments. I call them tools of life. I call them things that you need to become clever, to become better. The situations that you could not deal with, the pain. After a while, you have become wiser. They took the thing from you. You built a business, they took from you. They lied to you. They went everywhere telling people that you're a bad person. They went everywhere telling people everything that you never said. Never worry. Continue to be a good person. Don't let the disappointments kill you. Don't let the disappointment make you a bad person. Never let the disappointments make you become bitter. No. Hope again. Trust again. Be hopeful. Become better. Become wiser. Because the more you are going at the top, people who get to the top, you will see that many of the people at the top are trustworthy. When you get to the top of your game, you start to link with the people that you needed. So the disappointment, they are just trying to lift you up, lift you up, lift you up, lift you up. And it gets to a point you start to connect with people with the same kind of thinking, with the same kind of philosophy, with the same kind of skill, with the same kind of heart, with the same kind of precision. Because that was the essence of the disappointment. So that you could just hit that goal, that destiny. So if you stay at the ground because you felt disappointed, then you will not get to the goal. You will not get to the goal. You will not get to the goal. So go for it. Never become bitter. It's not important. Don't give up on people. It's not important. Trust again. Become wiser. Become wiser. Become wiser. Become wiser. And so people will disappoint you. It's part of life. It's part of business. You did not expect them to disappoint you. They would. It could be anybody. It could be father. It could be mother. It could be friend. It could be brother. It could be sister. They will pick up a fight with you, and you don't even understand why they're fighting. Why? You don't know what you're going through. You don't know the pain. You don't know the struggles. They don't know. Why? Because they're fighting for themselves. They are naive. They don't have the full picture. They're selfish. So they will never remember what you have done for them. So don't also remember what you have done for them. Remember what you have done for people, not them in particular. So don't expect people to pay you back. Those particular individuals. But people, by nature law, by natural laws, will pay you back. Because there will be somewhere that when you go, somebody will open a door for you. And you least expected them to help you. And they'll be there and they will give you help as if they have seen you for years, and that could be the first time that they see you. Somebody will just show up anywhere and just come and defend you. Like, wow, why are you doing this? And they may not even have the meaning because of all the good seed that you have sown somewhere. And that is the beauty of life. And that's why people who continue to do good to people, good to people, good to people, they are the people who become great and become peaceful. They become, when you build like that, nothing can stop you. When you have a heart of love, a grateful heart, a kind heart, just do. Forget about what they do back to you. Continue. Big doors are open to you because you continue to sow the seed. It's a force you're building. They push, they open. That's why anybody who is a good-hearted person, you cannot predict their future. No matter how many difficulties that they go through, you have no idea what the future holds for them. Why? Because they have sown the seed, they have built the momentum, they have laid the foundation. So if you're the one who go around destroy people, you have no foundation, you have no future. So continue on to build. Never let the few people who disappointed you stop you from believing in humanity. Never. You send somebody to school, the parents did not even come to thank you. They came to even insult you. Don't worry. You sow the seed. Do it for another person again. And continue to do it. If it's your call, if it's your heart, if it's your destiny, you cannot stop it. And you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for mankind. You're doing it for God. You're doing it for yourself. So you cannot be disappointed. Just say it to yourself. I can never not be disappointed. I can never be offended by people's action. Not for a long time. It's a decision, it's a philosophy. Don't take offense. Never. No matter what people do. Just look at them, laugh, enjoy your life. Find some music, find some books, watch some movie, play. That moment will come. Anytime that you hear something that you thought, wow, why? Play music, dance, go to sleep. Tomorrow will come. Gather yourself, go back to work. It's part of life. That's how you're becoming better all the time. So just accept that it's part of life. People have the power to choose their destiny. So they can choose that to hurt you, no problem. But there's always something good in that moment. That's where you start to. So look for the things in that darkest moment, which you call darkest moment, the time that you least expected that somebody will do that to you. Those are the times that you start to hear. You start to see. And you can create great future out of that time. If you don't lose the moment, if you don't become bitter, if you don't become sad, if you don't become offended, you can turn those situations around and build something more significant. So become better, re-strategize, and look at life, love people, never give up on people, and never even be bitter on that one who you think hurt you. You just have to stay apart, stay afar. If they need help and you can do it once again for them. But do it at a distance. and just become the great person that you are. Because all of us have that power to overcome that which you call disappointment. Never settle. Never carry in your life something that somebody did 20 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, become so bitter around. No, doesn't matter. Because you have also hurt somebody anyway. So it doesn't matter. What matters is you get into your goals, build your business, build your product, build your industry, become a loving person. If that woman disappointed you, find another woman. If that man disappointed you, find another one. Don't worry. It's life. You know, it's life. It's life. Just put things in perspective and you become great. Become great. And nothing can stop you from getting to your goals. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you. Thank you very much for watching. And you may share this video with other people. Thank you very much for watching. I'm thankful.